The best PC settings on Vanguard to make your gameplay smooth, crispy, and look good. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. One of the first Vanguard videos I'm gonna actually release. Something a little bit different, but something I think is gonna help you guys out a ton if you're on PC and playing Vanguard. It's some graphical settings. I'm not gonna waste your time. Let's just get straight into it. I'm pretty much only gonna be going through like the visual and the graphical settings that I would recommend at the moment. Obviously, you've got your other stuff like with your controller, your interface, audio, all that good stuff. Not really going to be covered in this video. And just as a bit of a warning or a bit of a heads up, like these settings that I'm about to show you obviously do depend on your system as well. Like these settings aren't going to be good for absolutely everyone. You could have a godlike PC or you could have something that's struggling to turn on. So, you know, let's crack into it. Display under graphics. Obviously you want to have full screen. That's probably recommended. Your refresh rate is whatever you want. For some reason mine's 143.996. It doesn't want to be 144. Don't know what that is. VSync is something you always want off 100% of the time. It's just not good. Frame rate limit, I always set it to custom, and gameplay custom frame limit, I set it just above 140 because you obviously can't do 144. I have a 144 hertz monitor. All these things are all pretty self-explanatory. I didn't really touch them, so just kind of leave them be. And moving on into quality. So obviously custom render resolution, you want it on 100. That's that's what you want. As it says, it represents the level of definition, so pretty much like if you have it to 50, like it's going to be blurry. Dynamic resolution I have off, and all this stuff here is pretty much what you're going to want to be tinkering with, kind of dependent on your setup. I have mine on medium because if you look at this bar in the bottom right, the estimated VRAM usage, it takes a big chunk from medium to high, and there's really not that big of a difference. So I kind of put it on medium. I'm actually thinking of putting it down onto low. And again, the rest of these, if you have a look, like not a lot changes no matter like what setting you put it on. So I kind of just keep them on high just to make the game look good, because obviously you want high FPS, but you also want the game to look good as well, so keep an eye on that. Bullet impact and sprays I keep on. Again, not a big impact on the system. If you can't see bullet impacts and sprays, then everything's just going to kind of look boring and it'll just take away from the experience. Shader quality I have on high. Tessellation I keep to nearby only. You don't want to completely turn it off, but I feel like having it on 100% of the time, obviously like it's improving rendering quality, so that little bit less rendering that it has to do might get you a few more FPS. Level of detail distance, I just keep it on standard. Nearby level of detail and distant level of detail, high and high. They're not really big impacts, and we do want to be able to see things clearly on this game. Clutter draw distance on high. Volumetric quality level, that's a bit of a mouthful. I keep on low or medium. Just I'm kind of experimenting with this one at the moment, at medium at the moment. So moving on to shadow and lighting. Screen space shadows on. Shadow map resolution medium. Another one where it's not exactly a big deal. Sun shadow cascades high. Cache sun shadows and cache spot shadows I turn off, because if you have a look, effect on VRAM is high, and if you put these both on or off, you can see a big difference in your estimated VRAM usage, which we want to kind of keep that down a little bit. Spot cache size on medium. Spot shadow quality on high. Particle lighting on medium. Ambient occlusion on both. Screen space reflection low. And that's pretty much it for the shadows and lighting for there. So moving on to post-processing effects, you can just have a quick look at these. There are a lot of mouthfuls again. Fidelity FX super resolution off. Fidelity CAS off. Anti-aliasing I keep on the T2X. Depth of field I put off as well. I don't want anything blurry ever. And VRAM usage target I kind of just keep on 85%. Now moving on to gameplay. So field of view is on 95. I keep it ADS field of view on affected. Basically this is for visual recoil. If you haven't played on PC before, or if you haven't played with an FOV slider before, basically what this is going to do is give you less visual recoil. So the targets might appear a little bit smaller, so in some ways it's kind of a blessing and a curse, but your gun kick is going to be like a lot less visually recoiling. So it's a bonus to have it on affected. Camera movement, I strongly recommend putting this on least 50%. This is basically when your camera shakes. So if a missile's coming down and hits the ground and you've got this bad boy on default, which is 100%, your screen is going to look like this when you want it kind of just looking like this. That was the best explanation I could ever offer for camera movement. And motion blur, you want these bad boys off. Motion blur sucks. It's horrible. Don't use it. Simple as that. NVIDIA reflex low latency, just on. I didn't really touch this. But there we have it, guys. That is the best PC settings on Vanguard possible for right now that I know of. It works for my setup. I'm constantly getting 144 plus FPS when in game. But those are the settings that I'm rocking with. I hope you guys are enjoying Vanguard. I hope you guys are having fun on it. I hope you guys are getting high FPS and visually pleasing images on your screen. That's it from me. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Please subscribe if you're new here. We're going to be pumping out so many videos on this game. I hope you guys are ready. But without further ado, hope you guys have a fantastic day. See you later.